so just be mindful of people walking through the lot, and of course, don't throw any parts at this particular point in time. What will happen at this particular location? Okay, so probably where are you at?
I'm at 0 still.
You're at 0. Okay. So are you hearing anything different? No. Okay. Do me a favor, and I want you to literally point your hand right there in that hole. See if it goes different. Are you hearing anything different? So where is that coming from? Okay. So I'm going to cover the history, and then we're going to spread out, staying away from the vehicles, and I'm going to do about 2 to 3 round robins with you guys, taking a lot of notes, and then I will regroup us and show you how it all pieced together if we have anything at all. First and foremost, anybody with a communication device that actually will talk back to you, this is where I'm going to start withholding information on purpose. I'm not going to be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse. You will be getting the answers from your communicators. That's how this goes. And I'll reveal all the answers at the end of this location. So, where the heck are you? You're in a smelly old parking lot with a big old smelly dumpster in it. Congratulations, you made it. I told you, I take you guys to weird spots. No ghost tours come here because there's nothing to see. But this used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant, came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's the layout of the land. Who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. Do you have a number, Pablo?
It just went from point 4 to point 6. It's not what you're looking for. It just, for some reason,
You'll start to see it. It'll start to grow.
Yeah.
This location, average, 18 to 22. That's not 1.8, 18 to 22. That's an average. So just kind of give you an expectation for the spot. Yeah, it'll start to grow. You'll see. And it'll be a holy shit moment for you. I can already see it. When you guys hear Pablo's scream, it's a good night. So it wasn't like a bad scream. It would be like, oh yeah, we got something kind of scream. Like I would expect that from a guy like you. So back to the son and the nephew named Charles. That's 3 chucks in case nobody was paying attention.
4.1.
There we go. Now don't tell me anything less than a 4.1 while we're here. We're going to watch it grow. If you get a 6 next, that'll be your new baseline. So I'll write down that 4.1, and then we're going to keep it going up. That way I don't have a whole notebook full of numbers. Back to Charles and Charles. Son and the nephew, signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us. I hate politics more than all of you combined, especially 24 days away from an election year. You guys got the point. If I don't give the gentlemen their recognition, by the way, for signing the Constitution, they will do it for me in a very nasty manner coming out of Spirit Box. I've seen it a couple of dozen times. We don't want to piss them off. So let's move on. We're going to talk about Eliza instead. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards.
2.4.
So I say that slowly about her marriage because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from when young ladies got married at like 12 and 14. Right. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age when they married. It would be considered a creepy age gap to some back then and a creepy age gap now. So just kind of keep those numbers in the back of your brain. I'm not going to tell you what they are. So moving forward, she married him because her father was over in England. Dad thinks he's dying over there in England and he wants to bring all of his children home one last time. Eliza doesn't believe he's dying. So she stays put right here and gets married. Well, it's 1744. You do not get married in that particular year to earn a green card. We are not a country yet. She married him out of love. This is a true love story, if nothing else. There is nothing horrific about this location. You'll see it is a place of respect. Moving on. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds, that's interesting, of indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. Some of you have it on tonight, and that's exactly how we use it today. When Eliza got her seeds, no idea what to do with it, you turned it off. It is a fun. So, she got those seeds. She had to learn from the servants and the slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not always warm here. Then she had to learn how to make the dye and then move it to a cash crop. Got a hold of her dad overseas and told him that the rice plantations were going downhill in price. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. That is something absolutely unheard of. So, with that said, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit. That's why you guys showed up. All the communicators, I'm going to assign you guys questions based off of the type of communicator that you have. Feel free to cherry pick off of somebody else. If you're going to go rogue and ask your own questions, 3 little rules. No yes, no questions. We covered that already. Be respectful at this particular location. Do not provoke. We will not get responses. Last but not least, please do not ask about Eliza's children. Don't even bring them up. I will explain before we leave the space. You start poking the bear with our modern day language, she doesn't understand it. It will seem disrespectful in that manner. So please don't provoke about the children. So I'm going to go left to right with the communicators. So we're going to go with John's device and Kathy. You guys are going to have these same. By the way, have I spirit up anybody's name yet?
No.
Okay. You two are going to have the same set of questions based off of what type of spirit boxes you guys have. So you guys are going to be going after Eliza's death. So the four major things that we get answers to: age at time of death, what she died from, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are four majors. If you go rogue, just be respectful about it. So Rachel, with yours is going to line up with Rebecca. Oh, that works out. We actually have two R's. That works out perfect pretty well, actually. So your guys' devices, I say the word remake. It's very interesting because it's not true. It's like the exact opposite. Your device, you're going to be looking for Eliza's initials of ELP, and I want them in that order. Whenever I give you initials, make sure that they're in that order, not a word scramble. Any other words that are obviously 3 letters or more, I want to know what those are as well. But the interesting thing about the ELP on your end is she's the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. So the first wife, also named Eliza, also has a maiden name that starts with the letter L. So the ELP is technically for 2 different women. You're going to figure out which Eliza we are dealing with. So hopefully we get that out of yours. And Caroline and Larry, when you guys are listening to your spirit box, I want the 2 of you listening and asking questions about the mansion. It's not here. Your device only gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time versus the other 2 that gives us much longer phrases. So figure out what happened to it because it's not here. If you get the what, we normally will get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. I just gave you a clue. It is a tragedy of what happens in the mansion. So kind of keep that in mind. So I know Pablo's like dying to tell me what he's got. How much?
We're talking 6.4.
6.4. So we have a 4.1 and a 6.4. All right, perfect. So
That was while you were talking like 3 minutes ago.
Has anybody heard anything coming out of their device? John, Kathy? We are going to spread out. I'm going to keep Rachel behind with me for just a minute or 2 so I can show her a little bit more about her word scramble device and kind of see what we got going on. And then again, spread out, but just stay away from those vehicles. Again, I try not to weird people out on a Saturday. We don't know who's drunk and who's not. So I'll be with everybody in just a minute. I'm going to be going to you next. If you want to see the words, just take a little white box and write the word.
Oh.
Rice. That's what happened to the engine. Yeah.
Eliza, what happened to the mansion?
Yeah.
Eliza, what happened to the mansion?
Keep asking questions.
All right. You getting the gist of it?
Yeah.
You got anything that came out of it yet?
I heard Bryce. It's like a name.
Okay.
That
You
was
have
the
something.
Price. That was the
Okay.
clearest thing.
So the other two spirit boxes, just so you know, they're going to be having like diarrhea of the mouth. You guys are like, what the hell's wrong with those spirit boxes? Nothing. It's meant to only give you the words that are relevant.
Okay.
So I don't know who the hell Bryce is, but it might be somebody over on Big John's team. I don't know that would have been a name back then, but we're still close enough to Big John's where we would have had something like that. But I always write it down if it came from that spirit box because, again, it's the most accurate. The other two, they're great devices. They just do things differently.
Yeah.
So
I keep hearing this commercial, but I can't make it out what it is. But it's the same one.
if you can't make it out, then you weren't meant to hear it.
Okay.
Kind of how we look at those things.
Cool.
And you are just keeping that thing on record?
Yeah, yep.
Perfect. Yeah, just
Keeping it away from the cards.
right. I get it, and I appreciate that. Trust me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first or last time I'd be yelled at about the cards.
Yeah.
All right. So.
What happened to the mansion?
Eliza, can you tell us what happened here?
Where is the garden? What happened to the mansion? Why is the mansion no longer here? Why is the mansion no longer here? What was the girl's name? I don't know. What was the girl's name? What was the girl's name?
Eliza.
No, there's another name.
Eliza. There's two Elizas. Eliza, why is the mansion no longer here?
What happened here? Tell us what happened here. What did that say?
So, I heard
Tell us what happened here. Why is the mansion no longer here? What tragedy occurred here? Oh, really? Let's go back over to that tree. Look, they're in that tree. Elijah, what happened to the mansion? Eliza, what happened to the mansion? What happened here? Tell us what happened here, Eliza. Elijah, tell us what happened here.
Eliza, tell us what happened.
All right, you two kids, what do we got now?
Not much.
Okay.
I
Again,
got Roman, I think.
Roman.
Yeah.
So it's always your first instinct. So there's not really anything else that rhymes with Roman. So I'm gonna write down Roman.
Ooh.
So anything weird coming out of your cam?
No, I haven't seen anything.
So just in case you want to take it up a notch, I'm gonna do one more quick round robin with everybody. This flashlight can be seen through that particular guy. I'm gonna put it about halfway. The mount for it isn't in yet, so
Okay.
I'm gonna be replacing this guy with this.
Gotcha.
So get me some footage of what it looks like in this location. Just try not to shine the cars and set off
Okay,
anything because
yeah.
the cars can see infrared.
Gotcha.
Ooh. Hello, Eliza. Could you tell us what happened to the mansion, please?
It's crazy how you can see this so good through here. You can see the light so crazy. Huh? Yeah, look, yeah, it's not.
Rebecca, can you give me the last 4 words out of your list? Go to your list.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Scratch, numerous, group, week.
Week? Yeah, if you have a camera, by all means, hit that stop button. Your hands free. Kind of to the side, we're looking past here. How's it going, man? Did you see the high five guy? Like, he's doing it to everybody.
I did not catch what was going on.
Did he really?
Yeah. Sorry. I had this on and I was just listening.
I have no idea.
When we were walking over here, I got this story. That was.
I don't know. Kathy, what'd you get?
Huh?
What'd you get along the way?
A bunch of songs. Trying to remember what they were.
Okay.
There was one that I thought was kind of funny, but not think of the name of it.
But when we were leaving the parking lot and we got to the alley part, it went to 24 again. Like,
Oh, I remember now. What is that?
yeah, like when we're leaving the parking lot,
I'm
we're
just
heading.
trying to think of like what's over there. What would have made it go off? Because that building next to it is empty, but the other side is catering like a wedding reception type area. But I didn't see a wedding restaurant. So. Sorry, I'm always trying to like debunk.
I didn't want to say anything because, you know, I
I'll
might
take a note
interrupt
of
your
it.
story. So.
We had 24 already over there, so I'll put it in the notes for that location. Where are we at on the word list? What do we got?
Star. Efficiency. Scarlet. We were walking towards the market.
See where that's going.
Legislative.
Legislative? Yeah, that definitely goes to the 2 Charles signers of the Constitution. We had something like signer and then document show up 2 nights ago, so they're really starting to come around with that. Yeah, that's all like aesthetic for the app. It just made the car word. What was the word cut? Well, it gave me 3 words at once, huh? There are some iterations that we didn't get to nothing. So just so you have an idea, I think you've already given me like 3 or 4 times tonight. So we're actually on the roll. So keep it up. Got your eyes peeled. I love it. John, you get anything else?
No, just that one phrase.
This is the story of the one.
You're getting a different sound.
In here?
Yeah.
Is it steady?
It's still like not just that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I've heard it 3 times and tried to hear it.
That's something that hopefully that shows up as an anomaly. Did you remember anything that you heard before I kind of get started with here?
I heard more than words, but then I also heard words that are meaningless. So I don't know.
But yet this is the story of the one. So it's all kind of contradictory. All right. So welcome to Philadelphia Alley. Every ghost story comes down here. Literally. There's like 300. By the way, if you have a camera, hit those start buttons. You guys got the gist. John looks like you're already on it. You're so quiet, man. Like I'm like, I gotta look for the hat. Like, where the hell is it?
He's zoned in.
I know. They're all like that. So every ghost tour comes down here because it's kind of a staple story, and I was going to take this out of my route because I do change this route up every year. I kind of take one space out, add a new one in, just because I get a lot of repeaters. But this guy follows me around. The story's been told by other tour guides for the past 40 to 50 years, and I'm the first person to come along where he can communicate back with the guys with the gear we're using. The reason why. What was that? Does anybody know what that sound clip is from?
No.
Come on.
It's that one.
So that was Janine from Ghostbusters.
Mm.
And every time you guys buy tickets to my tours, it sends me a text. And Janine screams, "We got one." And then she slams the phone down. Yes. So my wife always knows, like, you had 4 bookings while you were in the shower. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'll check them out. But anyway, so
Classic, I like that.
no, with this particular, I told you that he follows me around because we're going to be a place of raised emotion for him from here moving forward. So that's why he kind of follows me around. He does have a code word. I'll let you know what that code word is towards the end of our night, so that way you guys can find it in the down and follow us around. It's a weird word that you wouldn't normally find on radio stations. So let's talk about why we're here. This place is haunted by a doctor. He moved down here from Rhode Island. So with yours, Rachel, you're looking for the initials RI for Rhode Island, and it'll make more sense when I kind of get further into the story. The doctor's name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up on a spirit box while we're here, it's not coincidence, it's part of his name. We get it all the time. Anyway, Doc moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. He tells Amanda, get rid of that doctor fellow. So he comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's money. He's going to start his medical practice down here, and he'll be, making his own cash. So he moves down here, but that coachman that brought him into town, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. With having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. Sorry if anybody's taking an Uber home. So, I know you guys are. So, but anyway, with that said, somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen to the newcomer. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. Do those initials sound familiar? All right. That's the reason why we have Rachel's device. I was getting RI on regular spirit boxes, so I bought that one. Had it about 6 or 7 times only when I brought up Ralph's name. So take that for what it's worth. Moving forward, Ralph tells the doctor, hey dude, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them and you'll be safe and good to go. The doc took him up on the offer. And the 2 gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making, proving his point he's not after Amanda's cash. She gets wind of this, she's moving down so they can be married and live happily ever after, and Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate the damn story. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling nurse. We all have them. Ours just happens to be a doctor. So, with that said, why are we in this particular location talking about this doctor? I was trying to be quiet, and I screwed you up, Joe. I'm sorry.
I was getting ready to come up and touch this man on his shoulder just to watch him jump.
I don't need you. I'm doing good. I almost got her too.
Oh, it hurt.
Oh, yeah, no, I almost snuck up on her.
Oh, I got you.
I actually do chores too, but
I thought you dressed like that all the time.
I was gonna say, well, pretty much whenever you see me downtown now. I have fun.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Joe. So, we are in this location because it used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So it's kind of a hiding spot. I did say some of the duels because dueling was illegal. So this is a hiding spot. So, let's get back to our doctor. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So on the way home from seeing Richard III one night, they are talking about the new actress that was here in town. Doc thought she was great. Ralph did not. They start arguing, and then Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island, and it got really ugly between the two of them. They go their separate ways. Ralph went to his friends at the newspaper afterwards and placed an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thought of the doctor. Kind of a weird disgrace to society kind of bullshit. Well, Doc saw this ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. Keep in mind, this argument started over an actress. The shit was really dumb back in the 1700s when people argued. But anyway, the 2 gents came down here back to back. They took their 10 paces. They turned. Doc pointed his gun in the air and he shot with 1 bullet. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up. So Ralph has his 1 bullet still, puts it in the kneecap. And the doctor didn't die. Fell to the ground. His friend picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later on the November 2nd, 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about that last statement. It is 1786. Gunshot wounds, a lot different back then than what we know of them now. So, secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed. He died. Every tour that comes down here tells you to listen for the damn whistles. We have 2 cameras and my voice recorder running. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, it's more than likely going to be on one of those 3 devices, and maybe even our 4th one that I handed over to Denise today. So she's like, no, she's going to wave it around. I love it. But anyway, so I will tell you that dozens upon dozens of times on John's device when I'm actually going through that recording, how many times that I caught the whistling part of the song and then the word doctor coming from a commercial immediately after. When I'm spot checking your guys' media, I'm not looking for anything. I listen to minute 1,
I just
5,
heard doctor.
doctors. They're coming up. Minute 1, 5, 10, 15, 20. You guys are starting to see the pattern. I'm not looking for anything. Whatever I find in that 1 minute, if it's weird, it goes in your notes. If it's not weird, it just passes by. So that's kind of how it goes. You guys, what'd you get? Well, law would be relevant because Ralph was an attorney. So it's an interesting piece. It was a so we're going to let these folks pass by, and I'll tell you the rest of the class people over here, which is basically how I got it. So that's the point. John's good. Oh, you're good. You're good. I know you guys are all waiting for it at this point, but he's been literally laser focused on me, like waiting for that damn part of the story. So if you're going to try to walk through here listening for those whistles, just remember that every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking past us on Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. So just kind of keep that in mind if you use your voice recorders from your phones. Now let's talk about that part where I got thrown out of here. Right about where we're standing, right where those steps were, there used to be a wall. We're going to go further back in Dueler's Alley, where this place used to be called Cow Alley. And the reason why the wall was there is because it was keeping all the livestock inside of the alley. So we're also going to let this group pass through. The same one that cut the edge before, so now we're getting that alley. You get anything weird on that thing? Somewhere like weird button? And how's our word list coming? What do you got on there, Rebecca?
I got again there was story at one Harold Supply Grand St.
What was the last one?
Team.
Team. So you guys can see how it really was.
And Bird.
That's it. Perfect. So back to Cow Alley. Oh, now we got a great shot. Good job. So the reason why I'm telling you about why this was where the livestock was held is because we started building it down there by Queen Street and slowly worked our way this way. That means that the bricks on the other side are older than the one you're standing on. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave trade. There's a full handprint from a slave child in one of those bricks down there, some fingerprint swipes and others. And I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson. Nothing paranormal about that brick. Again, it was just straight history. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid's not there staring at that brick. So I told the history one night to my group at 10, and it's November 26th, 2020. And I take them through, and I usually just point it out, and we would just keep on walking. Well, my team decided to stop that night and huddle around that damn brick. I'm trying to shoo them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and we're all still standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful, and I didn't realize we were out of bounds. So, the person came out, he was pretty angry, screaming at me. My daughter thought it was hysterical. She was running for that. She's 14 years old. Yeah, she was all about it. So we just moved on. The next night was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays because I used to work in upper management for Walmart. You guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving, you scarred me for life. I will never work another holiday in my life, ever. So the next day, I called my partner that I had at the time, and I told him what happened. He laughed at me, just like my 14-year-old daughter did at the time. He said, you're only allowed to go down halfway, dude. You guys see the video tour stop. That's about the stopping point. Otherwise, it's residential. You got to reroute your group. Well, I didn't have a route going this way. I was still new to tourism.
Right.
So what I told my team that night was, I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you the pirate story next, but I've been kicked out of there too. And before we left the space, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne coming out of their spirit box. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. Anne Bonny. Normally, if I say pirate, you guys automatically go to Blackbeard. So they had no idea about Anne Bonny. I took them around the corner, told them what I did know about Anne Bonny in Charleston, which wasn't much, because pirates isn't my thing. I really wasn't into it at all. But somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. I didn't know what it meant. Wrote it down, do the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her piracy.
Oh, wow.
This is the reaction I normally get from you guys. I was pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing and several bachelor's degrees in other forms of writing. Whenever I'm researching anything, I need facts and data. You know anything about pirates? Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, the days of life. That's a problem for me. So whenever you guys found something that could be relevant, I had to read like 5 books to verify one piece of evidence. It was a lot of damn research. Documentaries, video games, movies, books, you name it. Half my library's all on pirates. I can't even tell the story anymore because we didn't kick out of that place. They kind of cut it off for tours. They said, no more tours coming through here. So what we're going to be doing next, keep in mind, Doc will be following us for the remainder of the evening. So things can come up around him. I would be more specific about his code word that you guys don't know about when that pops up. We're going to get Larry a new light when we get up there, so he has a nice fresh floodlight and a spotlight. And I'll give you the gist of this new story that I'm working on to replace a very common story that every other tour tells. That way, in case you guys are taking other ghost tours, you're going to hear the story they normally tell. I'm going to take you across the street from that and tell you something that hasn't been talked about for probably 20 to 30 years. So it's a very interesting tale, and I'm still piecing it all together, but it is where we caught that orb last night with the camera that Larry's using. Any other major questions on dueling that I might be able to answer for you, or anything weird going on with your gear that I need to know about before we leave?
How does Cleon demand grant inspiration?
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing. So pretty weak. Rachel? John, were you listening in with the one ear you had?
I got a friendly game.
Is that what you heard? I got a friendly game. Anything else come up? You're doing some good long phrases though. I'll give you kudos for that, because that thing's not easy to listen to.
I've gotten better. Like it was much harder.
Yeah. Were you listening at all, Kathy? Or were you focused
I
on
was
me?
focusing on
Yeah,
you.
and that's okay. That's okay. I mean, that's why we record with most of these devices. So if you get any numbers above 8.
Baseline.
Okay.
0.
Okay. Now, last night when we were at the space we're about to go to, we shouldn't get anything over there, but I think we had like a quick 6. Like it showed up when it was like at the next location. You will unmute from here to the next location, so you get a chance to actually start working with that thing. And then after that, I'll have to explain what our last stop is after the next location, just because it is a lot more in depth. We'll be working as a group, so you guys will see that as we kind of go through. It is a crazy ass experiment. It's a lot of fun to watch, even if it doesn't go through in our paranormal sense. It's still fun and funny to watch. So super cool and fun to do. No more weirdness coming out of you, but just at the beginning. So it went away. So what you're telling me? Awesome. That's what I want to hear. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Doc, you can come along if you want to. You know where we're going.
Not yet. No, I didn't hear anything when we went down. Anything weird coming out of you?
No, it's actually yellow. There's a really hard one.
Yeah, it's usually the crosswalk. But no weird puzzles. So yeah, it looks like we have a couple of spikes I gotta look at, which is good. Because last night's recording, we got nothing out of that last night. I had one little flip, and it was nothing. So the first time we used that, by the way, it was a high spike. And it was long. So
Boney, can you tell us about the fire? Low country. This is the low country.
that's pretty exciting.
I'm getting a lot of the letter C.
We're enjoying.
Flashlight going back pretty far.
Mhm.
Nice. And feel free to, because that it does extend, and it will give you more of like a spotlight. So if you just pull on the end like this,
Gotcha.
can see now like how small it is.
Yeah.
And gonna be much brighter. So it's up to you, like how
Okay.
you push it in. The halfway point is what we used last night, because it seemed to like spread out enough light so that
Gotcha.
way we can actually see more. But it's however you want to use it.
Okay.
I got nothing really. Nothing that's making any sense.
No.
Pretty much.
3 and 4. Come here. Give me a fork.
What's that?
I just said, come here. Give me a fork.
I was getting a lot
That's
of
two
bees
things
for
spliced
a
together.
while, like just with water bees. Most likely.
So what, the irony about this is we were getting things like on the breakfast device that said phony, but I was doing the AM bond story literally right next door. So we kind of took it as that. And then we were getting the Sallies would show up on that word list from time to time while we were here too. But we took it as like the Sallies are kind of like the guy who comes off a horse. He's Sallies because he's got, you know, the arch in his legs. So that's kind of how we took it and never really putting it together for kids. So
Right.
it's like, oh shit, we've been next to this whole time and I'm getting all this stuff. But I do have a disembodied voice from your recorder. Sally. Like 4 radio stations. Definitely not radio chatter. Like craziness. Like, and that's when I used to have right across the street. So it was like, why the hell are we getting this? Oh yeah, the damn Sally's right across the street. And I started to look into it and I started diving into it more. So that's why we're here for experiments. I think I'm here.
Playing with some new spots.
Yeah, 12 and 14 times maybe, tops, that I've been over here. We've already caught the orb and some weird stuff going on.
Oh, you got another one in your bag?
Yeah, I always like to. Just in case.
I heard a couple things.
Yeah.
When we were walking up, I heard, Larry heard, or no, I heard, is Rob here? And he heard, it's inside. And then I heard, ma'am, can we? And then later I heard, speak. And then juggle.
Juggle is a weird word.
And then I think I heard Kim. I heard a woman's name. I
want
couldn't
the
really
truth.
hear the name.
Truth.
Truth?
That was good.
Yeah. And then you said, what was the name?
I think Kim.
I don't know who the hell Kim is. That's the great thing about this is I don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
So I'm going to research it. Maybe it was one of the friends that actually dared her. Her name was Kim. I don't
Oh,
know.
maybe.
No
Then
idea.
I heard fire, fire.
Not surprised by that.
I did hear that. This is cool though.
Any other words going over there, young lady?
Appreciation and variety.
I want the truth.
What?
The truth.
I love it. I want it too.
I was just gonna say that.
And under.
Let me follow up those folks down there, and we'll probably wrap this up. So, Larry, did you find anything on there? In
Nah.
real time? Okay. You have the best vantage point. Did you zoom in at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have fun?
Already on record. Henry? We got two gentlemen on the bench. Always come through. This isn't something that we always do. I know you prefer it to be this way. Caroline can see whatever you want us to see. She'll describe it for us. You know how this works? That's the blue box. Henry, tell us about your work. What do you do for a living? Our God. You said it started at about 11:19. Henry? Probably having a hard time over there. Copy. What did you copy? Henry, let's make it simple tonight. What did you do for work? Just some verification of here. We've got all the boxes out tonight that you can use to talk to us, but we would prefer if you use the three people on the bench. Freedom. Contractor. Anyway, let's talk about that contractor piece. Can you describe that a little bit further? Give the rates a good thing. Newspaper is where he told us all this work. So we probably got contracted out as a commission. It's vague, but it's still kind of a stretch. So crazy. Can you remind Pablo to tell us what he's hearing?
I'm hearing music and radio announcers.
Well, tell us what they're saying. If you hear a radio announcer, tell us what the radio says. He can hear us, obviously.
Artist.
Can you hand me that spirit box? I'm going to turn them up a little bit so you can hear us. Henry, we're going to fix some of these boxes.
Yeah.
Tell me when it gets too loud, Pablo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you a little bit.
Set that back up. Henry, it's very loud out here.
I see two figures.
Okay? Describe those figures because they're not being very chatty.
I see a house.
Fight.
Next to it, I see something green. It looks like a heart and then like a line and a circle.
Okay?
Then I see an eye and then a teardrop.
That looks like, what's the artist I'm thinking of that came through your You guys aren't better than that.
Guns out.
18307.
But the
For free.
house is like a square.
Henry, did somebody else come here with you? Who said fight and guns out?
Anytime.
Henry,
Get away.
who else is here with you? Yeah, it doesn't.
You heard that right.
Henry, Dr. Lass here. He needs to use his code word so we know it's him.
Heavy.
Outcasts. Anything being spelled out for us?
I was getting, earlier when I first came over here, I got the initial snap and I was under question.
White. And notice how they got quiet. Henry, still going to dwell on your work. Let's stick with your work. The Dr. Lad, if you're here, we need a little bit more than just guns out. Can you show us something? Maybe in the blue box?
Fire away.
Yeah.
I'm wishing I was with you. That was a song this popped up.
What did you think that was?
It's like a factory or a town, but it's not like still in there.
Henry, we just heard a sound. Can you tell us what the sound was? I'm not talking about the people. It was a specific sound, the music note. Can you tell us where it came from or what it was? Start today. Henry, you're not really giving us a whole lot tonight. Is it just too loud out here for you? There's a lot of people around.
Guilty pleasures.
Henry?
I see a place, and I don't really know what's behind it. But the dice has like all these pink dots. There's a light pink and then a dark pink. And it almost, the one on the bottom almost looks like an infinity. And the top is like that.
For you?
And then behind it is like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like rows and has triangles. That's all for the silver.
Henry, I don't understand this image of the dice, the die that you showed us. And then we have the phrase guilty pleasures. Would you like to play
I
games?
don't remember.
Gone. Did you say gone?
Gone.
Henry, let's get back to your work. Let's talk about your last page that you wrote.
It's all reliable.
What can you tell us about the last page you wrote? Do you know where they're holding it? Can you tell us that? What kind of building it is?
That's one.
Wow, are you like striking me out here? And Henry, if you can hear that sound that we're hearing,
So there's a kid screaming.
how old is this kid? Hey, yes.
I'm gonna say like 8. And there's like a hand on him.
Henry?
Maybe younger. I can't tell because his mouth's so big.
When she said a hand.
9. Wake me up. Henry, I'm not pulling them out yet. We're not done. We got about 3 minutes to go. Yeah, we are going to go for 3 more minutes. So let's get back to your work. I'm asking you about where your work is being held. Can you tell us what kind of building that is? You know where it's at.
Dad.
I'll fall asleep.
Henry, where's your work being held? Why don't you give us that word on the word list?
The good news
He
is
unites us.
I missed what John said again.
I didn't catch it.
I think it was
Rage Against the Machine.
Henry? Let's get another image or two out of you.
Kind of like just about anybody.
All very vague stuff, Henry. We're looking for the specific details. You know how this works. Like I'm not here every
They'll
night.
give you
Can you give us another image? Can you show us the building where your work is held? Henry?
There's nothing you can do.
Henry, if you'd like us to leave, use your code word at home to let us know that you're leaving. You have word home should be flying in this frequency, Henry. Use the word home and we'll abide. No, it can't be. You can give us another image and we'll wrap it up.
another year.
Another going on with the license.
John.com. Oh, that's weird.
I see a lake. And then a white boat. And yeah, it's like a lake there.
Play it backwards.
And then like
That's
walk
serious.
out to it and I got and I see a phone
I miss you.
in a row. And then I think the sun's setting. Because the sky is
Is the sun going up or down? Alright, Henry.
Heaven is mine.
Can you tell us good night? We're going to wrap it up. Henry going once. 102. Henry going twice. Good night, Henry. I will see you tomorrow. And I'll be back. Alright, let's get the gentleman tapped out. So John, with yours, right next to your volume, you have a button. I want you to click it in the opposite direction so it turns the machine off. This way we know that the last 10 minutes came from this session. Gentlemen, how